In today's video, we're comparing the two giants of dodgy PC electronics, Aliexpress versus Wish.com, or the Scabosaurus Rex versus the Hustleraptor. Buying fake graphics cards on Wish.com is kind of all the rage on YouTube at the moment, but there used to be a time when AliExpress was the preferred go-to place for YouTubers to get scammed. So what I decided to do in today's video is compare the shopping experience between buying a graphics card on Wish.com and buying a graphics card on AliExpress. Now, considering the fact that I already had the hilariously terrible GTX 1050 Ti from Wish, I decided to buy a GTX 1050 Ti from a reseller on AliExpress and see how the two graphics cards compare. Now, when going onto Wish.com and looking for PC components, it's a pretty terrible selection. It's kind of like choosing which urinal to use in a public toilet. It's just, ugh. But when you go onto AliExpress, the selection actually looks a lot better. There are a bunch of listings for GTX 1050 Ti's which look kind of like the real thing. And the pricing is also more realistic. They're kind of priced at a point which makes sense for a 1050 Ti. However, that does mean that if they're fake, you're kind of losing a lot more money than on Wish.com, but it means that there's more of a chance for them to actually be real. However, what I decided to do was not just buy what is obviously a real 1050 Ti for like a reasonable amount of AliExpress, because that wouldn't be a fair comparison. Going, well, this $50 1050 Ti from Wish is fake, but this $150 obviously recognizable 1050 Ti from AliExpress is real, therefore Wish is worse. Like that doesn't seem fair. So what I decided to do was buy a card that I didn't actually recognize the model of. Editing Dawid here. You can tell because I don't have a beard anymore. It looks so terrible. But anyway, the reason that I'm interrupting myself here is because I am very stupid. Like, I am one of the most stupid people ever. Now, through the entire process of making this video, so i.e. buying the graphics card, getting it, unboxing it, doing all the things that I do to it over the course of this video, I just assumed that I was right in thinking that this was a dodgy Asus card that wasn't like a standard model that they had. So when I actually edited the video, I get to this point and I want to go find a picture on Asus's website to substantiate the fact that it is in fact not in their normal catalog. Well, as you can see from this picture, it is a 1050 Ti. So what we're gonna do from here on out is we're just gonna laugh with a deep knowledge. We're essentially gonna keck me every single time that I bring up about how I think that this is a dodgy graphics card and explain why. Again, I'm really sorry for this confusion. I'm so dumb. But yeah, with that, let's get back to the video. So now that we've selected our contenders from the competing marketplaces, I'm going to compare them on a couple of metrics. Now the first one is going to be price, and here, well, Wish wins hands down. The 1050 Ti from Wish was about $48, whereas the AliExpress card was about $128, which is significantly more expensive. And it's kind of in line with what a 1050 Ti costs, but it's really not a good deal and you shouldn't be buying one at this point in time. And then the second metric that I'm going to compare is the quality of the packaging. Number 3 is going to be the build quality of the various cards. And then we're going to see whether or not they're actually real. Now with this one, the Wish 1050 Ti obviously lost already, but the jury is still out on the AliExpress card. So with that, let's get into the unboxing. Straight off the bat, AliExpress is looking fairly terrible, or at least the seller on AliExpress is looking fairly terrible. So let's get this guy open. Here we go, and this looks like a shoebox that you bury a dead bird in, to be honest. And it's already not comparing very well, let me just get these out of the way, to the Wish 1050 Ti box. But let's open it up. Maybe there is another box in there, which I'm not convinced there is. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's it. There isn't another layer of packaging. It comes with this guy, which I would not recommend anybody ever use under any circumstances. A single Molex to 6-pin cable, and then there's a lot of bubble wrap. Okay, there we go. And here is the graphics card. Okay, here we go. That's quite an interesting looking cooler. There's a bit of peach fluff over there on the graphics card. It's not been cleaned very well, but this is supposedly a 1050 Ti. Look at that. We've even got a sticker here that says that it is, I mean, it's an Asus card. It's got the correct I/O, or it's got I/O that makes sense, at least. Now, when looking closer at the actual design of this graphics card, it's pretty dodgy. It's not Wish GTX 1050 Ti dodgy, but it's still fairly suspect. Now, the reason that it's suspect is because of the shroud that it has here. This shroud looks kind of similar to an Asus GTX 960. I don't know of a 1050 Ti that has this actual shroud design. However, when you look at the actual top of the card over here, you'll see that it's got these gaps for, like, I guess heat pipes and stuff, and there's nothing populated there. After just a brief hands-on with the two cards, the Aliexpress card is definitely the better made of the two. It's not saying a huge amount, considering the fact that this Wish card is pretty rubbish. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's plug this bad boy in and see whether or not this is a real 1050 Ti. Okay, now I've plugged it into the actual test bed here, and I have to say, after handling it for a little bit, I think that this is a real 1050 Ti. Now, I know that this is quite a risky statement to make, but yeah, I'm gonna hedge my bets. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, if you think this is a real 1050 Ti, or whether or not it's some fake imposter. And while you're down there, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna use the PC jump starter to power up the PC and see whether or not it actually works. Oh, it's powering up. There's a display signal which makes a lot more sense than the one that came out of this bad boy over here before we fixed it. The only problem is I think I may have AMD drivers on this system, so I may have to delete those. Okay, it blue screened of death almost immediately. Now, while it tries to boot up here a second time, I just want to say that if this graphics card is real, it is devastating for this competition, because this was one of the more dodgy looking 1050 Ti's I could find on AliExpress. And on Wish, you kind of can't buy one that isn't dodgy. Okay, well, the graphics card driver installed on the AliExpress card, which is already a lot better than how the Wish graphics card performed. Honestly, the Wish card performed a little bit like it was infected with the plague. And now it's time that we peek under the dress of this graphics card and confirm whether or not this is a real 1050 Ti. Oof. Okay, so let's set aside the GPU first and look at what's happening in here. This is a very interesting heatsink design because it's not actually connected to the shroud at all, which is very weird. It kind of seems like this shroud belongs to a different graphics card. So this GPU is in fact a GP107-400A1. And a quick Google search does actually confirm that this is, in fact, a GTX 1050 Ti. Now, in conclusion, which marketplace wins this clearly pointless shootout? Now, because of how kind of weird the points worked for this competition, they're actually tied, which doesn't really make sense because the Wish graphics card is clearly fake and the AliExpress card is clearly real. So the AliExpress card makes more sense if you want to buy a component that's real. And that actually leads me to a point where I can quite easily summarize the difference between Wish and AliExpress for buying PC components. Now, when buying PC components on Wish.com, there aren't really options that look like they're real. You're almost definitely going to be scammed. And if the components do work, they're going to be really overpriced for what they are. Whereas with AliExpress, there are a lot more genuine options on that website, and it's more obvious which are fake and which are real. And with that, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, do like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. Follow me on Twitch, where I stream every Saturday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and there's a Discord server and all those good things. And until the next video, bye-bye.